these encroachments came in, we had a security problem. You know, unfortunately, there were robberies, and I think somebody got shot maybe a couple of different times, and it was quite concerning.
3 times we came downstairs and we had been robbed, and Mom kept improving the burglar alarm, and they kept outsmarting her.
And bless Patty, we heard a burglar downstairs. And Bill started down, and I just yelled bloody murder. I didn't want Bill to confront the burglar. And we heard him run out and slam the front door as he left.
We tried several different security agencies to no avail. The good ones would ride through the neighborhood with their windows down so they could possibly hear any commotion. The bad ones kept their windows up so they didn't hear anything.
At a roadblock on Peachtree Hills checking driver's licenses. And the funny thing is I never really got into the street and checked license. I always chased on each end of the roadblock. And most of the police would get in the middle, but I always liked to chase. So, but that day, for some reason, I told the lieutenant I didn't want to chase. I wanted to get in the street. And he said, well, go ahead. So I think Lynn was probably the first person I stopped.
This tall man looks over and he said, can I see your driver's license? And I pulled it out and it was out of date. And then he looked at my inspection sticker. It was out of date. And I think I pulled out my insurance card. It was out of date. And I realized I was caught red-handed on all respects.
And I think his license and his inspection sticker were expired. But he's got that on his face. Y'all seen that. He just looks like George Washington or Jefferson Davis. He's real honest looking. And so I gave him 2 tickets.
And I said, you know, that's about the nicest contact I've ever had. Can I tell you that I have recently had a break-in in my house in Brookwood Hills, and we need you or someone like you, if you know anybody who's available, who's poised and strong and can help protect our neighborhood.
He said, listen, my wife and I woke up in bed the other night and sat up, and there was a guy going through our dresser, and we're thinking about hiring a policeman to work our neighborhood. And I said, well, you know, I was thinking to myself, I said, I've never heard of a policeman working in the neighborhood, but I had a wife and 4 kids.
The first night that Barry worked, he found the guy that had robbed us.
It was the first night. So I'm out there looking for this burglar. Well, it's 2:30 in the morning. I'm sitting on my motorcycle by the pool, and here comes this guy, an older car, and you know, somebody just kind of strange looking there in the neighborhood, and I had a headlight out, ran the stop sign there at the pool, so I stopped him, and he turned out to be the burglar. He had a huge, his arrest record was like sheet after sheet after sheet. So he was definitely our burglar, so I locked him up. And the next day I called the neighborhood, and they were all excited about it. And it kind of made me look like a cross between Ren 1010 and Superman, but the truth was, Ray Charles could have seen this guy. I mean, he was, nobody drives through Brookwood Hills. It's not a cut-through neighborhood, so it was kind of easy for me. But, of course, I acted like it was a huge deal, you know. But so I said, do you want me to go ahead and just stop the job, or you want me to go ahead and work the 2 months? And I was hoping for at least the 2 months. Well, 35 years later.
One is pretty vivid, and that is what we call the Shootout on Palisades Road. We were sound asleep when we were awakened. It was either late at night or early morning by loud gunshots that sounded really close.
I saw something white come out the passenger side of the car, and I thought, well, it's toilet paper. The kids are rolling houses, and it's toilet paper. But I thought, man, they're running awful hard for that. Then they made a left on Wakefield, and went down Huntington, and I'm on the radio, you know, telling them where I'm at. And about the time they turned on Northwood, the passenger had leaned out the side of the car, and I couldn't even see him. It was so dark, with a shotgun, and he kind of let me up a couple of times. Bam, bam, you know. So all these shots come by on my, come by and all hit me, and the windshield's here, and my jacket was all dinged up, my helmet. One shot hit my skull and went around behind my ear, and they cut it out about a month later. But I can remember saying, "Shots fired, shots fired," and when he shot at me. And then as we start down Northwood toward Palisades, I felt something running on my neck. I said, "I'm hit," because there was some blood there. And ran on down, and right in front of Carl Fackler's house, they hit a tree. And I kicked my motorcycle kickstand down, got behind my bike, and the passenger got out and he started shooting at me, and I'm standing there returning fire, bam, 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 and he's shooting at me. And Carl Fackler said, all his kids came running up to the bedroom and said, "Dad, what's going on?" He said, "Get in the floor, Barry's in a shootout." So.
Brookwood Hills was the first neighborhood that Barry was involved in, and now he's involved, or subsequently got involved with several neighborhoods around Atlanta, and it almost become an institution, and also consulted in foreign countries about doing the same thing.
35 years later, here I am, still doing it, and then once word got out about our success here, then Ardmore and Collier and Castlewood and Spring Lake Wildwood, it ended up to about 20, 21 neighborhoods, and I do 4 schools, but it all came from that incident of me giving Linton the 2 tickets on Peachtree Hills.
Barry is a tough, fearless policeman, a handsome dude, a family man, a comedian, an artist, a musician, a buck dancer, and much, much more. But to me, he's a very special friend.
The grace of God that we got him for our patrol. He was so calm and so sensible and so easygoing. Got along with all the neighbors, was wonderful to the children.
It's changed my world, for sure, and the world of a lot of my friends now I know in this town by protecting us, not just at night, but all the time. So I'm very, very grateful.
Neighborhood thanks you, Barry. We appreciate all you have done for us, and we wish you the very best in retirement.
Brookwood, again, was very smart to hire him when they did, and we appreciate what he did for the community.
Thank you, Barry.
He's really been a tremendous asset to the neighborhood, and I just wish him well. And
he just was the perfect person to head up our patrol. And it's been a delightful, well, I guess 30 years.
And he took care of all of us, and he was a brave policeman and a wonderful friend. And I guess he's the only policeman I've ever kissed.